Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This review should mark a return to form for me. Those wondering what I've been up to will want to check our updated site, simplybinge.com. It's basically the same as our original site, just with a new lick of paint, new name, and basically some unknown stuff that you'll hear about in the future. Follow us on Simply Binge UK on your social network of choice so you don't miss any of those updates. And let's jump into the review. Utawarerumono Prelude to the Fallen is a remake of an adult visual novel tactical RPG originally released for the PC in 2002. This remake mostly follows the story beats of the original, but leaves out all of the adult content. From a story perspective, it's chronologically the first game in the franchise, a franchise which I've already reviewed two other titles, Utawarerumono Mask of Deception and Mask of Truth. For those unaware, the Utawarerumono series is a mixture of visual novel and strategy elements, with the visual novel aspects taking center stage. This hasn't changed with Prelude to the Fallen, so if you're not at least comfortable with sitting and reading text for hours upon hours, then avoid this like the plague. For an example, you'll be required to read dialogue for roughly 2 hours before reaching the first tactical gameplay section. It is of course possible to skip this dialogue, but that's heavily inadvisable. These games' strengths come from their story, so skipping any of that weakens the overall appeal of the product. In essence, prepare to read as if you're watching a subbed anime. The game's story begins with our protagonist waking in a strange house while enduring immense pain. He looks up to see a strange girl tending to his wounds, and as they begin to interact, it becomes apparent to them both that he has absolutely no idea who he is. Add to that, he dons an irremovable mask on his face and grasps quite a few concepts foreign to those he meets. These people live a simpler life similar to feudal Japan, with their major differences being they all have tails and animal type ears. Our protagonist on the other hand is as human as they come, with regular ears and no tail. As the plot progresses, he's given a name and propelled into the complex world and politics which govern it, leading to conflicts, and thus we get to the tactical aspect of this game. Oh, by the way, did I mention that this game has some of the best Japanese voice work that I've experienced? Well, it does. Anywho, back to the tactical aspects. As a tactical RPG, Prelude to the Fallen seems as average as it gets. However, calling it average would be inaccurate. In battle, you are capable of moving your characters on standard grid-based maps with varying degrees of elevation. Each map is filled with enemy units, torrents, and some destructible objects. As you defeat and destroy them, you'll gain XP, AP, items, and zeal, as in certain amounts of it will allow your units to level up. Leveling up gains your units new moves, abilities, and HP, but nothing else. If you wish to increase their attack, defense, and magical defense, then you'll need AP. You gain this currency by using units in battle, with the amount needed to improve each attribute being different for each character. More physical characters will require less AP to improve their attack, but require more for MD, or magical defense. This AP system also provides the game its only real difficulty control. By not using the AP gained, you can artificially increase the difficulty for yourself. Switching from normal to hard difficulty doesn't change much else other than the attack and defense of enemies a little. The overall AI itself doesn't change, and it's not that challenging. My recommendation is to have at least one character with level 50 attack and leave the rest at about 30-40 attack. This will allow you to pretty much steamroll every encounter until you get to the post-game segments. The rest of the combat is a mixture of quick-time events and strategies. Before each stage, you're able to select most of the characters for your party, equip them with items for buffs and healing, allocate AP, train, or mess about with some of the menus. Once in battle, your characters are capable of attacking, healing, and using magic. Most attacks and healing include QTEs. By pressing the X button when the large circle reaches a smaller one, the player is able to gain extra zeal, inflict status ailments, and critical damage. Once leveled up, each character is capable of using unique timed chain attacks and ultimately a final strike. an executable attack at max zeal. Unused zeal can be carried over into other battles, so don't feel pressured to use it if you don't need to. Adding to the intricacies, each character has abilities which affect adjacent blocks, elemental strengths, weaknesses, co-op attacks, and so much more. Most of it is well explained, while others were a bit of a surprise, like a certain character being weaker in water or in rain. For more ease of mind, the game also has an unlimited rewind feature, auto chain attacks while holding L, and a simulation function. Visually, the game looks almost identical on both the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4. Characters look well detailed, attacks have the right amount of flair, and the environments are acceptable. This game isn't going to win any awards for graphical appeal or anything like that, but it's one of the better looking options in this genre. I especially like the character 3D models and the visual novel art, something I wish there was more of. Okay, so after all that praise, I'm sure you're wondering if this game is perfect. It's not. Prelude to the Fallen suffers from poor pacing due to massive gaps between the visual novel and the strategy RPG sections. This disparity will overwhelm some thanks to the extremely long visual novel sections, resulting in some unfinished copies of this game. With visual novel sections that are literally as long as anime cutscenes without animation, it's difficult to accept the need to press the X button to return to a hub menu when there are no branching paths. To be clear, this is a linear narrative and nothing else. Also, since it's all Japanese, you'll find yourself reading for hours non-stop, and it's obvious that the devs knew this because you can save at any time, revisit any dialogue you missed, and even skip it, which, as I should mention right now, you shouldn't, because this game is strongly helped by its story. Those aforementioned issues, however, are inconsequential to the poor censorship efforts by the devs. In an effort to remove the adult aspects of the original, the devs created unnatural gaps in an otherwise appealing story. Thanks to their execution, it led to more confusion than anything else, and despite trying their damnedest to hide its shameful past, and I'm doing this with air quotes, there were still a few SU moments in the game. Some were just dialogue, so prepare to imagine, and the others were just censored weak subversion for an imaginary consumer. For a game rated M, it's not clear who they were trying to protect. Censorship attempts like this do more to hurt the overall appeal of a product, if nothing else.
どうして何かなあ、いえ、やっぱり何でもないです。
So, with all we've had to say so far about this game, here's my final verdict. Do I recommend this game? Yes. Similar to the other entries in the Utawarerumono series, this is not a game for everyone. It's for fans of visual novels and reading. Those who prefer a bit more action in their games may wish to sit this one out. Others will find solace in some of the charming writing, great characters, interesting story, and brilliant Japanese voice acting. Did I mention the Japanese voice acting is brilliant? Because it is. Just keep in mind that some story segments will fall flat due to poor censorship and possibly, let's face it, bad translation. So, thank you very much for watching this review of Utawarerumono Prelude to the Fallen. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave us a like and a comment in the comment section below. And if you'd like to see more content like this from us, make sure to like, subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon so you'll always know when we put up new content.